there, and welcome to this deep dive. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, and it's a classic for a reason, I hear.
It is.
And I am ready to unpack all of it with our expert today.
Sounds good.
So it's not just about, the money, but it's about the psychology behind our choices, right?
Yeah,
How can we tweak our habits and mindsets to create a rich life?
absolutely.
This book covers a variety of things, everything from credit cards and banking to, investing and negotiating.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's get started.
Pick a good one. Sethi's approach is really refreshing.
Yeah.
He makes personal finance relatable and actionable and cuts through all that jargon.
Yeah, I like that. So right off the bat,
Okay.
he makes this surprising comparison between our habits with food and money.
Yeah.
He says we often treat them the same way, indulging without tracking, relying on anecdotes rather than solid research. What do you make of this analogy?
It's brilliant. It highlights how mindless we can be in both areas.
Yeah.
Like grabbing a cookie without even thinking about it. Just like we might make an impulse purchase online.
Right.
But if we want to get in shape financially and physically, we need to be more mindful and intentional.
Okay. So how can we break free from that autopilot mode when it comes to our finances? Any tips from Sethi on where to start?
He emphasizes awareness.
Okay.
So just like tracking calories can reveal those unhealthy eating patterns, tracking your spending can expose areas where your money is slipping away.
Yeah.
Have you ever tracked your spending,
Yeah.
even for just a month?
Ah,
It can be so eye-opening.
I'm kind of scared to do that.
Well-
What if I don't like what I see?
I think that's a common fear a lot of people have.
Yeah.
But Sethi argues that facing your financial reality, even if it's uncomfortable, is the first step to taking control. Knowledge is power.
That's true. I'm ready to dive in. Speaking of power, Sethi has this really compelling story about two people
Okay.
named Sally and Dan.
Hmm.
They both invest,
Right.
but Sally starts early, putting away $200 a month at age 35. Dan waits until he's 45 and invests double that amount, so $400 a month. Can you believe Sally ends up with $60,000 more in the end just because she started earlier?
I can. It's the magic of compound interest.
Wow.
It's amazing that early money she invested had so much more time to grow and snowball. The earlier you start investing, even with small amounts, the more time your money has to work for you. That's why starting early is so key.
It's so powerful. Why do we procrastinate on something that's so important?
Well, Sethi points out a few reasons.
Okay.
We might think investing is too complicated, or that we need a lot of money to get started,
Yeah.
or that it's something we can just put off until later.
Yeah, I've definitely fallen into those traps.
Right.
It's so easy to make excuses.
It is. But the truth is, even small amounts invested consistently can make a huge difference over time. The key is to overcome those mental hurdles and just get started.
So what is Sethi's advice for people who feel overwhelmed or intimidated by investing?
He's all about taking action, even if it's baby steps. Debunking common excuses like the world is against me or investing is too complicated. He encourages a shift in mindset, focusing on what we can control, like our savings rate and investment choices.
Yeah,
What resonates with you in terms of those common excuses? Which ones have held you back?
definitely the feeling of not knowing where to start. There's just so much information out there. It's easy to get paralyzed by it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sethi breaks investing down into simple steps,
Okay.
advocating for index funds and automating your investments.
Yeah.
He believes everyone can build wealth without needing to be an expert or hiring expensive advisors.
That's reassuring to hear. But let's be honest, investing can feel a bit boring.
Totally.
Especially compared to all the other things we could be spending our money on.
I know. He even jokes about how tacos are more exciting than watching your index funds grow.
Yeah.
But his point is that investing doesn't have to consume your life.
Right.
You can still enjoy those tacos while your money steadily grows in the background.
I love that. That's a great way to think about it. So it's not about deprivation. It's about making smart choices that allow us to enjoy life now
Right.
and build a secure future.
Exactly.
Speaking of choices, let's move on to a topic that can be a bit controversial.
Oh.
Credit cards.
Yes. The love-hate relationship with plastic. Where do you stand?
I've definitely had my ups and downs. Sometimes they feel like a lifesaver, other times a trap.
Yeah.
What is Sethi's take on them?
He acknowledges the potential dangers of credit card debt,
Yeah.
highlighting how carrying a balance can be incredibly costly. He gives this stark example of a $1,000 iPhone ending up costing almost $1,700 over time
Oh, wow.
due to all those interest charges. Does that surprise you?
It's a good reminder of how quickly those charges can add up.
Yeah.
But he doesn't just demonize credit cards, does he?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He emphasizes the importance of using credit cards strategically. Yep. He provides actionable advice on how to negotiate lower interest rates, leverage credit utilization to boost your credit score, and even unlock secret perks by being a good customer.
Wait, secret perks? Tell me more.
He encourages people to just call their credit card companies and ask about benefits they might not even know about.
Oh.
It's about being proactive and advocating for yourself as a consumer.
So it's not just about avoiding credit cards altogether.
Right.
It's about becoming a savvy user and making them work for you.
Exactly.
I like that. But for those of us who do have credit card debt, Sethi dives deep into the psychology behind why we stay stuck. He talks about these invisible scripts that we tell ourselves. Things like, credit card companies are just trying to trap me, or I don't even know how much I owe.
Yeah.
Do any of those resonate with you?
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing how powerful those invisible scripts can be. They can keep us feeling trapped and powerless, preventing us from taking action. But Sethi doesn't just identify the problem. He offers solutions.
Oh.
He provides 5 concrete steps to get out of credit card debt,
Okay.
emphasizing the importance of facing your debt head-on, creating a plan, and taking action.
So it's not about beating ourselves up for past mistakes.
No.
It's about taking control and moving forward.
Absolutely.
Speaking of control, Sethi gets pretty fired up about another financial institution.
Uh-oh. Was that?
Big banks.
Oh.
He doesn't hold back when it comes to exposing the predatory tactics some banks use,
Right.
especially those targeting people who are already struggling financially. He even names Wells Fargo specifically for their history of fraudulent practices.
He does.
That definitely caught my attention. What's the alternative? Where should we be putting our money if not in big banks?
Well, Sethi advocates for switching to smaller, more customer-centric banks or credit unions.
Okay.
These institutions often offer lower fees, better service, and a genuine interest in their customers' financial well-being.
Okay. So it's about finding a financial partner, not a financial predator.
Yes.
I like that. And I think it ties back to that theme of empowerment we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Taking control of your finances.
Absolutely.
Choosing institutions that align with your values.
Yes.
And making choices that support your overall well-being.
That's what it's all about.
That leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive. Let's talk about how to actually put your money to work.
Okay.
I'm ready to get into the nitty-gritty of investing. Bring on part 2.
All right. Let's go. Welcome back to our deep dive into I Will Teach You to Be Rich.
Yes. Let's get tactical.
All right.
Last time we talked about the incredible power of compound interest and how starting early is key.
Right.
We also touched on why actively managed funds often fall short. But now I'm ready to learn how to actually build my own investment portfolio.
Okay. So Sethi lays out a really clear roadmap for creating a simple yet effective portfolio.
Okay.
One that can help you reach your financial goals without needing to be a Wall Street wizard.
Sounds perfect for me. So where do we begin?
The first step is understanding your risk tolerance.
Okay.
This means figuring out how comfortable you are with the ups and downs of the market. Are you someone who can ride out a roller coaster? Or do you prefer a smoother ride?
That's a great analogy. I think I'm more of a smooth ride kind of person. Does that mean I have a low risk tolerance?
It could. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to risk tolerance.
Okay.
It's about what feels right for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's also influenced by your age and financial goals.
Okay.
A younger investor might be more comfortable taking on more risk knowing they have time to recover from any losses. But someone nearing retirement might prioritize protecting their savings. So tell me, where do you see yourself on that risk spectrum?
I'm still fairly young and have a long time horizon, but I also get a bit nervous when I see the market drop.
Yeah,
I guess I'd say I'm somewhere in the middle.
that makes sense. And once you have a sense of your risk tolerance, the next step is asset allocation.
Okay.
Deciding how to divide your investments across different asset classes, like stocks, bonds, and real estate. Sethi's a big believer in diversification, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Diversification. That's another term I've heard a lot, but I'm not sure I fully grasp it. Can you break it down for me?
Absolutely. Imagine you have a plate of food.
Okay.
You wouldn't want it to be all broccoli, right?
Yeah, okay, I like where this is going.
You'd want a variety of foods to make it a balanced and enjoyable meal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the same with investing. Stocks are like the spicy dishes. They have the potential for high growth,
Oh, okay.
but they can also be volatile. They might be really satisfying some years,
Uh-huh.
but Other years, not so much. Bonds, on the other hand, are like those calming side dishes.
Okay.
They tend to be more stable, providing a consistent return without those dramatic ups and downs.
So by spreading your investments across different asset classes, you're creating a more balanced portfolio, kind
Got
of
it.
like a balanced meal.
Exactly. You're aiming for a mix of growth potential and stability tailored to your individual risk tolerance and goals.
Okay.
And Sethi provides specific asset allocation recommendations based on your age. For example, a younger investor might allocate a larger portion to stocks for growth,
Mm-hmm.
while someone closer to retirement might favor bonds for stability.
Okay. That's making a lot more sense now. But how do we actually go about choosing specific investments within each asset class?
This is where those index funds we mentioned earlier come in.
Right.
They're fantastic tools for building a diversified portfolio, as they essentially track a specific market index, like the S&P 500.
Okay.
This means you're instantly investing in a basket of stocks, spreading your risk across various companies and industry.
Right. I remember Sethi being a big fan of index funds.
He is.
But I'm also curious, what about those who believe they can beat the market by picking individual stocks?
That's a common temptation.
Yeah.
But Sethi lays out some compelling arguments against trying to time the market or pick winning stocks.
Okay.
He points out that even professional fund managers often fail to outperform the market consistently. And they're doing this for a living.
Wow.
So,
So it's less about trying to be the stock picking genius and more about making smart, evidence-based decisions.
exactly. Sethi emphasizes that for most investors, a simple low-cost approach using index funds is far more effective in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
It's about riding the market wave rather than trying to outsmart it.
Okay. That's a relief. It takes a lot of pressure off.
But investing can seem daunting when it comes to actually opening accounts and getting started.
Yeah.
What does Sethi recommend?
He keeps it really simple.
Okay.
He suggests setting up 3 main accounts,
Okay.
checking savings, and a Roth IRA.
Okay. The basics, I do have those, thankfully.
Great. Then it's all about automating transfers to each of these accounts.
Okay.
This ensures that you're consistently saving and investing even when life gets busy.
Yes. Automation. A powerful tool. But I'm also curious about another term he uses, dollar cost averaging. Can you explain that in a way that even I can understand?
Of course. Imagine you decide to buy coffee every week.
Okay.
Sometimes coffee's on sale, sometimes it's not.
Right.
But by buying it consistently, you're getting an average price over time.
Dollar cost averaging with investing is similar.
Got it.
You invest a set amount regularly regardless of whether the market is up or down.
Okay.
When prices are low, you buy more shares, and when prices are high, you buy fewer.
Mm-hmm.
This helps smooth out your average cost over time and reduces the risk of buying high and selling low.
That makes so much sense. So it's about consistency,
Yes,
not timing the market perfectly.
exactly. Sethi's approach is all about removing emotion from the equation and letting the power of compounding do its work.
Okay.
But he doesn't advocate a complete set it and forget it approach.
Okay.
He recommends checking in on your investments at least once a year,
All right.
or more frequently if your financial situation or goals change.
What should we be looking for during those check-ins?
First, make sure your asset allocation still aligns with your risk tolerance and time horizon.
Okay.
As you get older, or your goals shift, you might need to adjust your mix of stocks and bonds.
Makes sense. What else should we be watching for?
Look for any underperforming investments. This doesn't mean panic selling at the first sign of a dip,
Okay.
but it's worth understanding why an investment is lagging and deciding if it still fits your portfolio.
So it's about staying informed and making strategic adjustments as needed.
Exactly. And this leads to another concept Sethi highlights,
Okay.
rebalancing your portfolio.
Rebalancing. Now that's a new one. What does that mean?
Think back to our food analogy. Over time, some of your favorite dishes might get eaten more quickly than others, leaving your plate unbalanced.
Okay.
Rebalancing with investments is similar. It's about bringing your portfolio back to your target asset allocation.
Okay.
Say your target is 70% stocks and 30% bonds.
Mm-hmm.
But after a year, your stocks have performed well, and now it's 80% stocks and 20% bonds.
Okay.
You'd rebalance by selling some stocks and buying more bonds to return to that 70-30 target.
Okay. I see how that helps keep your portfolio aligned with your original risk tolerance and goals.
Precisely. Now remember, Sethi's core philosophy is all about keeping it simple,
Mm-hmm.
diversified, and low cost.
Okay.
He encourages taking advantage of tax-advantaged retirement accounts like 401ks and Roth IRAs to maximize your returns.
Yes, those tax advantages are like getting a bonus from the government. But what about other investment options,
Yeah.
like real estate, precious metals, or even cryptocurrency?
Sethi acknowledges those options exist,
Okay.
but he's also very clear about the risks involved.
Huh.
Real estate can be illiquid. Precious metals don't generate income,
Right.
and cryptocurrency is highly volatile and still relatively untested. He encourages thorough research and careful consideration before venturing into those areas.
It sounds like his core message is to stick with the proven strategies, automate your investments, and focus on the long term.
Yes.
But I do get tempted by those get-rich-quick schemes I see online. How can we resist that urge?
Sethi provides a great anecdote about this. He got lucky with an early investment in Google,
Uh-huh.
but he readily admits it was pure luck, not skill.
Okay.
He emphasizes that trying to time the market or pick individual stocks based on hype or speculation is a recipe for disaster.
So it's about resisting that fear of missing out
Yes.
and sticking to a sound, disciplined strategy. That's
Yeah.
really empowering.
Exactly. It's about taking control of your financial future by making informed decisions based on solid principles, not fleeting trends. Now, the final part of our deep dive, let's explore what a rich life truly looks like beyond just dollars and cents. How do we translate these financial strategies into a life that feels rich and meaningful?
Okay, I'm ready to get philosophical. Bring on part 3.
Let's go.
Welcome back for the final part of our deep dive into Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich.
Okay.
We've covered the nuts and bolts of budgeting, saving, and investing, but now I'm really intrigued by this concept of the rich life.
Yeah.
It seems like it goes way beyond just having a fat bank account.
It does. Sethi challenges that traditional definition of rich.
Okay.
He argues that true wealth is about so much more than just money.
Okay.
It's about freedom, purpose, and aligning your finances with what truly matters to you.
I like that. So how do we actually put that into practice?
Well, he calls it conscious spending,
Okay.
splurging on the things you love and cutting ruthlessly on everything else.
That sounds amazing in theory, but how do we actually make that happen?
He uses a great example.
Uh-huh.
His friend John, the partier,
Yeah, okay.
John spends over $21,000 a year going out to dinners and bars.
Wow.
Now, some people might see that as excessive.
Yeah.
But to Sethi's point is that if John is consciously choosing to prioritize those experiences and it brings him joy, then it's perfectly valid.
So it's about being intentional with our spending rather than just mindlessly following societal norms or trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly. Your rich life might look totally different from mine, and that's okay. It's
Yeah.
about crafting a life that reflects your values and brings you fulfillment.
That's such a liberating concept. It takes the pressure off trying to achieve some arbitrary standard of wealth and allows us to define success on our own terms.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that money is simply a tool, and it's up to us to use it wisely to create a life we love.
So how do we go from this big picture idea to actually defining our own personal version of a rich life?
Sethi offers a few powerful questions to get us started.
Okay.
First, what are your core values? What truly matters to you in life?
Okay.
Is it family, creativity, adventure, community?
Those are big questions.
They are. But once you identify those core values, you can start to align your financial choices with your deepest aspirations.
I can see how that would make a huge difference. So once you have a sense of your values, what's next?
He suggests envisioning your ideal day.
Okay.
What does a day in your rich life look like? Where do you wake up? Who are you with? What are you doing?
It's like creating a vision board for your life, but with a financial twist. I love it.
Right. And once you have that vision, it becomes easier to make financial decisions that support it.
Okay.
But there's another question Sethi poses that can be a bit uncomfortable. What are you currently tolerating in your life that you wouldn't if money were no object?
Ooh, that one makes me squirm a little. We all have those things we're putting up with. Maybe it's a job we hate, a long commute, or even just clutter in our homes.
It's about facing those compromises and asking yourself, are they truly serving you?
Yeah.
Maybe you're staying in that job because you're afraid to take a risk, even though you're miserable.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're putting off that dream trip because you think you can't afford it, even though it would bring you immense joy.
That's so true. It's easy to get stuck in a rut.
Yep.
But sometimes we need a little nudge to realize that we have the power to change our circumstances.
And this brings us to another powerful question.
Okay.
If you had a year to live, what would you do? Now, I know that sounds dramatic, but bear with me.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's about stripping away all the distractions and getting to the heart of what truly matters.
Okay.
What would you prioritize if you knew you had limited time?
Yeah.
What experiences would you regret missing out on?
That's a really profound question. It really makes you think about what you value most and how you're spending your precious time.
Exactly. And once you have a clearer sense of what your rich life looks like, it's all about taking action. Break down your big goals into smaller, manageable steps. Maybe it's setting up automatic transfers to a savings account for that dream trip, or taking a class to develop a skill that could lead to a more fulfilling career.
So it's about turning those dreams into concrete plans and then taking consistent steps towards them.
Precisely.
Huh.
And don't be afraid to seek support along the way.
Okay.
Talk to your partner, family, or friends about your goals, or even connect with a financial advisor if you need guidance. Building a rich life is a journey, and you don't have to go it alone.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. Sethi's book is so much more than just a guide to personal finance.
It is.
It's really a blueprint for designing a life that is both financially secure and deeply fulfilling.
I completely agree. It's about shifting our mindset from scarcity to abundance, taking control of our finances and using them as a tool to create a life that aligns with our values and brings us joy.
Thank you so much for guiding us through this deep dive. I'm feeling inspired to start taking action and create my own version of a rich life.
That's wonderful to hear. Remember, the best time to start is now.